Good evening, and welcome to 91.3 KPVU, the voice of Prairie View A&M University. Tonight, we invite you to experience something special. Close your eyes and let the sound create the scene. This is Theater of the Mind, a Black History Month presentation featuring the incredible talents of the Charles Gilpin Players, the official theater ensemble of Prairie View A&M University, named in honor of pioneering stage actor Charles Gilpin, one of the first Black performers to gain national prominence in serious, dramatic roles. The Charles Gilpin Players continue a tradition of excellence, courage, and cultural storytelling. Over the past several weeks, members of the ensemble have stepped into our KPVU podcast studio to record original interpretations, monologues, musical selections, and reimagined classics. What you're about to hear is not just performance. It is heritage, it is scholarship, it is voice. We also extend appreciation to the PVAMU Theater Department and its director for cultivating artists who understand that theater is both art and activism. Let's begin. Our first segment is a dynamic mini show hosted by two members of the Charles Gilpin Players, Zaquavian Fisher and Christian Day. They set the stage and introduce a performance by Cadence Young that blends song and spoken word in celebration of Black womanhood. Cadence performs Phenomenal Woman by legendary poet Maya Angelou, a timeless declaration of confidence, identity, and inner strength. She then transitions into I'm Every Woman, first made famous by Shaka Khan and later brought to new heights by Whitney Houston. Music meets poetry. Celebration meets affirmation.
What's good, KPVU Media? It's your boy Zaquavian Fisher, but some of y'all might know me as Cuddy on the mic, Cuddy on the mic, Cuddy on the mic, and got Christian to my right.
Bringing y'all talent all day and night, CGP. Yes, as my boy Cuddy just said, I am Christian Day of the Charles Gilpin Players, and today we're bringing y'all something real special for Black History Month. A special young lady with a whole lot of talent. Some might say a phenomenal young lady.
Yes, indeed. Her name is Cadence Young, but her voice, and so woo.
Go and take it away, Miss Young.
Phenomenal Woman by Maya Angelou inspires the question, what is a woman? Is she the sun, rising with quiet strength, or the moon glowing with mystery? Does she walk like a mile-high merengue, twirling with grace, or does she move like thunder, rolling through the earth? Does she click her tongue like the rhythm of raindrops on rooftops, or hum like the wind whispering through trees? Who is she? Is she the laughter that echoes through generations, the fire that refuses to dim? Is she the hand that builds, the voice that heals, the heart that carries the weight of worlds? Is she you? Is she me? I'm every woman. It's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I'll do it naturally. Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size, but when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I am a woman. Phenomenal woman. That's me. I'll walk into a room just as cool as you please, and to a man, the fellows stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swim around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes and the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist and the joy in my feet. I'm a woman. Phenomenally. Phenomenal woman. That's me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner misery. And when I try to show them, they still can't see. I say, it's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breast, the grace of my style. I'm a woman. Phenomenally. Phenomenal woman. That's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need for my care. 'Cause I'm a woman. Phenomenally. Phenomenal woman. I'm every woman. It's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I'll do it naturally. That's me.
Black theater has long served as a mirror, reflecting both struggle and resilience. Our second segment features Alasia Butler performing a selection from 4 colored girls who have considered suicide. When this choreo poem premiered in 1976, it transformed American theater by centering layered experiences of Black women in a way that was poetic, raw, and unapologetically honest. Alasia brings that emotional depth to the microphone.
Hello. My name is Alasia Butler. I am a senior mass communications major with a minor in dance and drama, and I am from Houston, Texas. Today, I'll be portraying a monologue entitled The Lady in Red from For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Was Enough by Ezekial Shange. There was no air. The sheets made ripples under his body like crumpled up paper napkins in a summer park. He'd get up, make coffee, drink wine, drink water. He'd wish one of his friends who knew where he was would come by with some blow or some anything. He was always telling Crystal, any nigga want to kill Vietnamese children more and stay home and raise his own is sicker than a rabid dog. That's the way they thing been going since he got back. Then he'd go all over uptown saying the child wasn't his. And this, after she'd been his girl since she was 13, when he called her on the stairway. He came home crazy as hell, tried to get veterans benefits, and they kept right on putting him in remedial classes. And then Crystal went and got pregnant again, but almost beat her to death when she told him she still got a scar under her left tip where he cut her up. Still, Crystal went on and had the baby. So now Bo Willie got 2 children. A little girl, Naomi Kenya, and a boy, Kwame Bo Willie Brown. And there was no air. How the hell did he get in this mess anyway? She had been in his to marry her since she was 14 years old. And here she was, 22, hollering, what you want to marry me for now? So I could support you or come sit with you when they lock your behind up? No, I ain't gonna marry your pitiful black for nothing. She went on to bed. The next day, Bo Willie came in blasted and got the swinging chairs at Crystal, who couldn't figure out what the hell he was doing. Till he started shouting about how she was going to marry him and get some more veterans benefits. And when he couldn't do no more with the tables and the chairs, he went after the hot chair with Lil Kwame in it. Bo was beating Crystal with that hot chair and her son. That's why the police won't let Bo near where she lived. So he got all dressed up in his ivory top checkerboard pants to go over to Crystal's and see if he can work this whole thing out. He knocked on the door. There was no answer. He beat on the door. And Crystal and Naomi kept screaming for him to leave us alone. Just leave us alone! He broke down the door. And Crystal grabbed both of her children in her arms. Bo Willie Brown, get out of here. The police gonna come for you. You want your children to see you acting a fool again? What you want, Kwame, to brain damage from you throwing them around? Nigga, get out of here. Oh, I swear I'll kill you. Bo Willie jumped back all humble and apologetic. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt him. I just want to hold him. I don't want to cause you no more trouble. I just want to marry you and give you things. What you gonna give? A broken jaw? Nigga, get out of here! He ignored Crystal's outburst and sat down motioning for Naomi to come to him. Naomi pushed away and she ran to her daddy crying, "Daddy, be nice, Daddy. Because Mommy loves you and you gotta be nice." She sat in his lap and he played with her ribbons. They counted fingers and toes. And ever so often he'd look over to Crystal holding Kwame like a statue. And he'd say, "See, Crystal, I could be a good father. Now let me see my son." As soon as Crystal let that baby out her arms, Bo Willie dumped up a laughing and a giggling. "All right, you gonna marry me." "You gonna marry me." "No, I ain't gonna marry you. I ain't gonna marry you for nothing. You gonna be under the jail for this. Now give me my kids." He kicked the screen out the window and held the kids off a seal. "You gonna marry me." "All right, I'll marry you. Anything. Just bring the children back in the house." Bo watched from the 5th story where the children were hanging at all the neighbors screaming at him. And he started sweating again. "Say to all the neighbors you gonna marry me." I stood next to Bo at the window. Naomi reaching for me. Kwame screaming, "Mommy," from the 5th story. But I could only whisper. And he dropped him.
Some words echo across generations. In our third segment, the Charles Gilpin Players present a reimagined interpretation of "I Have a Dream," inspired by the historic speech delivered by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the 1963 March on Washington. But this is not a reenactment. This is a reimagining through collective voice, layered performance, and modern perspective. These students reflect on what the dream meant then and what it demands now. History speaks. The present responds.
Oh, say, can you see by the blood on the streets that this place doesn't smile on you, colored child?
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration of freedom in the history of our nation.
50 years ago, a great American in which whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree is a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free.
100 years later,
the Negro is still badly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination.
100 years later,
the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity.
100 years later,
the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land.
So we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition.
In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men, as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protest to degenerate into physical violence. Must not lead us to distrust all white people.
For many of our white brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny.
We cannot walk alone.
And as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking the devotees of civil rights,
when will you be satisfied?
We can never be satisfied as long as the Negro is still the victim of unspeakable horrors of police brutality.
We can never be satisfied as long as our bodies, heavy with the fatigue of travel, cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highways and the hotels of the cities. We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a smaller ghetto to a larger one. We can never be satisfied as long as our children are stripped of their adulthood and robbed of their dignity by signs stating,
"For whites only."
We cannot be satisfied as long as the Negro in Mississippi cannot vote, and the Negro in New York believes he has nothing which to vote for. No, we are not satisfied. We will not be satisfied till justice rolls down like waters in righteousness, like a mighty stream.
I say to you today, my friends, even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they are not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day in Alabama, with its vicious racist and its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right here in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers.
I have a dream today.
This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountain let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must be true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the curvaceous slopes of California.
But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia.
Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. When we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every city and every hamlet, from every state and every city,
we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men,
Jews and Gentiles,
Protestants and Catholics,
will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual.
free at last, free at last.
Great God Almighty, we are free at last.
Oh, say does this truth hold any weight? This is not the land of the free, but the home of the slave.
We close tonight's Theater of the Mind with a thought-provoking contemporary piece. Jameson Winfro delivers a reading of White Privilege, written by spoken word artist Kayla Janae Lacey. This selection challenges listeners to confront uncomfortable truths and examine societal structures through the lens of poetry. Black History Month is not only about remembrance, it is about reflection. It is about awareness. It is about growth. Here's our final segment.
My name is Jameson Renfro, and this is White Privilege by Kayla Janae Lacey. We learned your French. We learned your English, your Dutch, your Spanish, your Portuguese, your German. You learned our nothing. You called us stupid. That's white privilege. And I'm sure it probably hurts to hear those two words, kind of like gunshots and explosions from those commissioned to protect you, whisking past your ears. What is white privilege? It is the only 5 decades of legal acknowledgement expected to correct 400 years of white transgression. It is crack versus cocaine. Blacks receiving almost 20% longer sentences for the exact same offenses. For instance, a black man without a record is less likely to get a job than a white felon. Maybe it's because we're lazy and we don't work hard enough. Like, what? 400 years in the same field is literally an incredible resume builder. It is Katrina answering the government's prayers of eugenics, Dick Cheney going fishing the next day, Condoleezza on a shopping spree, Bush in San Diego. But Kanye is the one they called crazy. He still is crazy. But Kanye is the one they called crazy because, it only took the U.S. 2 days to get aid to Asia, but 5 for FEMA to get to Canal Street and Esplanade. It is the one black kid who beat the shit out of the odds, but only thanks to Michelle Pfeiffer, Sandra Bullock, and The White Shadow. So now we all can make it. It's the only time thousands of white people are cheering for a black kid is to win in a stadium. It is you looking at me crazy if I told you to go back to Europe, even though we didn't have a say and your great-grandparents came here voluntarily. It is you, all of a sudden having a problem with immigration, like this isn't even your nation. How the hell do you discover something that wasn't even missing to begin with? You've Columbused our traditions. Got white girls twerking in high definition with multicolored hair and purple nails, but it was ghetto when we did it. Oh, am I making you uncomfortable? Try a cramped slave ship. Oh, wait, slavery's over now. It's just called the prison system. Because, you're not racist because you don't use the N-word, but y'all use every day. What is white privilege? It is the acceptance of bombs over Baghdad, but not over Boston. It is European history being taught as a major and African as an elective. It is learning about my people for 28 days like I am not black every second. It is every white boy who wanted to my brains out, but not because I'm pretty. Because I'm pretty for a black girl. It's people thinking that Africa is one nation. It is waving the Confederate flag like you didn't lose the battle and then telling us to get over slavery. It is people saying that black people destroyed neighborhoods, but forgetting that white people destroyed continents. It is every time I have to bring up my plight, some white man telling me that I'm crazy, but kind enough to praise my English or say that we are all given the same opportunities, when he has a family history of wealth and I don't know my family history at all. It is the justification of police brutality, like, what did that person do? Well, I'm sure it doesn't hurt as much when the victim doesn't look like you. It is throwing out a qualified applicant because their name sounded too African American. It is Newports being imported into black communities, but black boys being exported for weed. It is big plastic being called fat when we naturally have them. It is an Australian woman being the new classic of rap music. It is everyone who hears this poem and dismisses all the truth that I just spit as reverse racism. That is white privilege. My name is Jameson Renfro, and this is White Privilege by Kayla Janae Lacey. Thank you.
You've been listening to Theater of the Mind, a special Black History Month presentation on 91.3 KPVU, featuring the powerful voices of Charles Gilpin Players at Prairie View A&M University. We thank Zaquavian Fisher, Christian Day, Cadence Young, Alasia Butler, Jameson Winfro, and the entire Charles Gilpin Ensemble for sharing their gifts. We also honor the legacy of Charles Gilpin, whose groundbreaking work paved the way for generations of Black performers. And we acknowledge the PVAMU Theater Department and its director for continuing to nurture artistry rooted in excellence and cultural truth. From Prairie View to wherever you're listening, thank you for allowing us to paint pictures through sound. For 91.3 KPVU, I'm LaJavian Robertson. Keep imagining, keep reflecting, and keep supporting Black art. Good night.
You have been listening to Theater of the Mind, featuring the Charles Gilpin Players at Prairie View A&M University. Special thanks to Artistic Theater Director Ezekial Morgan. Written and produced by Marquis, Lofton, and 91.3 KPVU. Hosted by LaJavian Robertson. Engineered and edited by Aamaria Kate Stepney. Music by J.D. Dosage.